Hello friends, I am Prerna Bansal from Kendriya Vidhalaya Sivni. Let us start our topic data structure. Today we start the topic data structure. First of all, we just clear the term data structure. Data means we have the raw facts and figures. Raw facts and figures stores into the memory. How can it be stored? How it access? How it manipulates? It deals with the term data structure. Data structure also tells the relationship between one data to the another data. There are two types of data structure. First of all, linear data structure, and second is non-linear data structure. Linear data structures, as the term suggests, it means how your element is stored. It's stored in the memory in the form of sequence. It is in linear way. There is not random fashion data is stored. There are four kinds of data linear data structure. First one is array, second is linked list, third stack, and fourth one is queue. Stack and queue is the part of your syllabus. Non-linear data structure. Non-linear data structure suggests that your data is available at different multi-level structures. Example, tree, graph, and these datas here the datas in the form of trees and graphs are not stored linearly, it's stored randomly. Okay, linear data structure, it is a very simple data structure. It just creates in a sequence. Non-linear data structure, it is not sequential form and it is multi-level data structure. We just see the examples of the and the diagrams of these data structure. We have discussed the term stack. Stack. This is an example of stack. Stack means stack is like a pile of trays, pile of books. You have seen here there are books which is one above the another one. It is LIFO in fashion. Stack follows LIFO rule. LIFO means last in, first out. Suppose you want to remove this brown color book, fifth book from the top, you have to remove this book, topmost book, then the next book, then the next, and then next. Then you reach the final destination. You can't remove in between. You have to remove from the top and then goes to the bottom. In the stack, first of all, we have the memory space is empty. When the data is put in, it is push operation, and when data is popped out, we have seen in the last stack that we have to remove the data 3. It means it is pop operation. Stack performs two operations. One is insertion known as push and second is deletion known as pop. And the next is, that's why stacks is known as LIFO. LIFO means last in, first out. The thing which you inserted at last should be removed first. Next is our linear data structure is queue. Queue follows the instruction of FIFO. FIFO means first in, first out. We have here two pointers, that is rear and front. Rear means where you insert the data. Pointer where you can insert the data. That operation is known as NQ. And the pointer which helps in removal of the data, that pointer is known as front and that operation is called the DQ. Example, line in front of bus. The person who is standing in front of the line, the person who enters the line first in, that enter the bus first. The person who is standing in the line in the queue of the bus should be removed, should get the bus firstly. That is known as first in, first out. that stands for Q. It performs two operations. First one NQ and second one DQ with the help of rear and front pointer respectively. The next linear data structure is singly data structure. Singly linked list. It can be single linked list, it can be double linked list. We just have to know about what is linked list. We don't consider what is single or double. We just know about the term linked list. Linked list consists of nodes. It contains 1, 2, 3, 4 nodes, and each node consists of two parts. First part contains the information and second part contains the pointer. For example, this node has the address 4800. Second node has the address 4900. First node contains the address of the next one. Next one means second node. Second node contains the address of third node, and third node contains the address of fourth node. As we seen in the example, fourth node is not connected to the next node because this is the last node. That's why here the address of the fourth node is null, and the first node contains the address of the second node, that is 4900, and the address of the first node is contained in the node. That node is known as header node. Clear? The next we have these three linear data structures. Array is also the same, it is also linear in fashion. Array is just like the list. We just have studied the list in the Python of class 1. Array is example of the list. Next is non-linear data structures. The name itself suggests non-linear data structures are those data structures which are stored randomly, where the data is stored randomly. Example is tree and graph. Here it is a tree. You have seen here trees and graphs look similar, but the difference is that tree can't form cycle. Tree does not contain any loop. As we see in the figure of graph, it is a cycle. It is a closed loop. But trees can't be a closed. It does not form any kind of loop. It does not form any kind of cycle. Here the data is arranged in the form of random fashion. The first node of the tree is known as root, and the second node is here B. A has two nodes. One is B and second is C. B and C are called the children of the A. It means in the tree there is a relationship of parent and child. The node which connects the A and B is known as H, and the node which belongs to one node is called the siblings. Here in the example, B and C, because they are found at the same level they are called the siblings, or we can say the nodes which are at the same level are called the siblings. And the node which does not have any child are called leaf node. The node which have no child further is called leaf node. The next one is graph. Graph is also the non-linear data structure, but here there are two different kinds of graph. One is undirected graph and second is directed graph. Undirected graph means we do not know whether there is a path between 1 and 2 or 2 and 1, because it does not give any kind of information. We just have seen, it has shown only that there is a path between 1 and 2, but it does not give any kind of direction. But in directed graph there is a direction, that if we have to go from 1 to 2, there is a direct path. But if we have to go from 2 to 1, there is no any path, not any path. But in undirected graph it does not like so. Next one, from our slide we just seen the operations which we can perform on the data structures. There are various kinds of operations which we can perform on the data structure. First of all, traversing. Traversing means how can you access the data? How can you access your record which is stored in your memory? And second one, insertion. Insertion means addition of a new element, addition of a new data into the memory space, into the data structure. Data structure means what? It can be tree, it can be graph, it can be stack, it can be queue, depending on your need. Deletion. Deletion means removal of the data from the data structure. When the data is not required, is not in use, you can remove the data. Searching. The next operation is searching. Searching means if you have to specify, if you have to find some data into the data structure, you can also perform this operation. The next, sorting. Sorting means you can arrange your data in the ascending order, descending order, or like example is the dictionary. In dictionary we have the data in the sequence of A to Z. This operation is known as sorting. Merging. The last one is merging. Merging is not in your syllabus. Merging means how can you join the two different data structures, but it should be of same type. You can't join stack and queue. You can't join queue and stack, queue and tree. It should be of same type. It should be of same type. We just in the next slides, in the next videos, we just come to know about these traversing, insertion, deletion, searching operations in detail. First of all, we just come to know about the arrays, or we can also say its another name is list. There are array means how can we collect the data in an order way? It should be in sequence. There is no gap in between the array. There are two kinds of array, one-dimensional array and multi. Now we discuss the term one by one. First of all, there is one-dimensional array. One-dimensional array means there is only one dimension. One dimension is what? In the following code we just have seen here, there is written I. This I stands for subscript. If it is only I, then it means it has one subscript. If it is I, another bracket J, then it means it is two-dimensional array. If it is 3, then it is three-dimensional array. One-dimensional means which has only one dimension. In computer, it can be represented in the form of the subscript. First operation we can perform on the array is traversing. Traversing means how can you access the each record. First of all, we just take the list. List can be, there is a variable L which represents the list, and there is a bracket in which we insert the element. By the operation of L, length, we calculate the length of the list, and it is stored in the variable n. And if we have to traverse the whole list, we have to take the loop for I in range. About what extent we have to go? We have to go to the n, because n contains the length of the list. And for printing the list, you have to perform the print operation. This is the output of the traversing. Again, to traverse the one-dimensional array, array signifies list. Another name of array is list. We have taken list, and there is a variable L in the following program. List can be taken with the help of rectangular brackets, big brackets, and the values are given, and we have to calculate the length of the list via operation len, and for traversing each element you have to take the loop 4 and then print the list. The next operation we have seen here, insertion. How can you insert the element in the list? There are two ways to insert an element into the list. There are two conditions. If the list is sorted and if the list is not sorted. If the list is not sorted, then we have to just take the list and there is an operation known as insert. There is an operation known as insert. We have insert in what? We have to insert in L. L dot insert. We have to use the operation insert and we have to insert in L, and there are two things required, two attributes required in the insert operation. First attribute is index, where you have to insert the element, where on which position you have to insert the element. We have to insert the element at 3 positions, third position, and the element 88 is to be inserted, and then print the list. If we print the list, then the output comes like this. You will see in this list, this index is 0, this index is 1, this index is 2, and this index is 3. It means 88 is come at index 3. And the second type of insertion, if the array is sorted. This is for not sorted, but if the array is sorted, we have to use the two operations. First one is bisect and second one is insert. Bisect tells the correct index. Bisect tells about the correct index of the element and returns the index. Insert do the insertion of the element in the correct order. We can see from this example, we first of all, to use the bisect function, you have to import this file. Import bisect, then you have to take the list and then print the original list. Via this line print, you have seen this output. And then in the next line, you have to tell which element you want to insert. If you want to insert, which element you want to insert, it can be do with the help of input operation. If we do not write the int, we have studied in the 11th class, this input operation takes the number as character. If we do not want to take number as character, as integer, you have to take int here, and that value which you type from the keyboard is stored in the item, and then you have given the value which you want to insert. Then you have to want to check at which position, at which index, want to know about the index. For that there is an operation bisect. There is an operation bisect. Bisect is a function which is written in the bisect header file. So here there is a bisect dot bisect. Bisect is a header file and this bisect is a function. This bisect function operates on the list, that is L, and it has checked the value item. Though there are two attributes, the name of the list and the name of the value, and this operation will give the correct index for the item, which will store in the pos variable. After knowing about the correct index, we just insert the value. Insert the value can be done with the help of insert function, and insert function is written in the bisect file. Bisect dot insert, it needs two attributes. One is L and second one is the value which you want to insert. L, item. Print we have just print the index. Index is in the variable pose. It is written here 3, and after this insertion the array will change. It now becomes 10, 20, 30. 35 which element you want to insert, then 40 and 50. It means bisect works only in the list which is sorted, and it all and arrange the data in the ascending order. Up to now we have studied two operations. First one is traversing and second one is insertion. Now in this video we just learn one next operation which you can perform on the one-dimensional array. Deletion of an element from a list. You can delete the element from a list either by remove or pop method. Example, you have taken the list L, we store some variable and then print the list before deletion. This is the output of the above command. Then you enter the value of the element which you want to delete. You have input the value via, and you have to take another function int. Otherwise this input value take the number as character and this int stays the character into the integer, and that value is stored in the value. After given the value, you have to use this function either remove or pop. If you are using the remove function, then you have to write like this: L dot remove, and in this bracket you have to given the parameter val which stores the value which you want to delete. And after this operation, the value of value 12 is going to be deleted from the list, from the above list. And the value is printed like this: 10, 15, 35, 38, 74, 12. Here 12 is deleted. You have seen in the above list there are two 12s. One is here and second is here. The first 12 is going to be deleted. But if you are using this pop function, like you have written like here L dot pop, then there is no need of this parameter, because pop function is going to delete the topmost value, last value of the list. Then again next operation, we move forward to the next operation, that is searching of an element in a list. There are two techniques via you can search an element in a list. First of all, linear search and binary search. Linear search is a very simple technique. In this technique, you just give the list and you give the element of the list which you want to search, and that element is compared with each element present in the list. If the element match with the element of the list, then the position will be returned. Suppose there is a list L which contains the elements, and then you have to calculate the length of the list, and then you have to give the element which you want to search. Then you have to compare the element present in the list, each element present in the list, with that value which you want to search. Therefore that you have to take the loop for I in range up to n, because we have to compare to the up to the last element of the list. For comparison, you have to take if condition. If Li equal means comparison operator which compares the value of item with the value of the element present in the list. If the value matches, then the position got returned. If the value does not match, it means if statement is false, then this statement does not run and the loop starts again. This loop work until till the value of the if condition becomes. From this output, you have seen here there is a list of elements 56, 78, 98, 23, 11, 77, 44, 23 and 65, and then you enter the element you want to search, 23. Then there is a comparison of the 23 with each element. 56 is compared with 23, no, it is not true. 78 is comparison with 23, not true. 98, not true. 23 is compared with 23. then the if condition becomes true, and when if conditions become true, then we come from the loop via with the help of break, and the position of the element of the 23 returns it is 0 1 2 3. But where here we have used I plus 1, so it becomes 3 plus 1 4. This is a linear search. In this linear search we just compare with each element present in the list until we find the element or the list got finished. Next searching technique is binary searching technique. Binary searching technique is also read in the chapter of recursion. You have read in the binary search, you just split the list, and it is very efficient in comparison to linear search because it takes less time in comparison to binary search. Because suppose if in the above list if we want to search 65, then you have to go through the entire list. You have to make the comparison with each element, so the time complexity, so the time increases. It does not matter if the length of the list is small, but if the length of the list is in thousands or in lakhs and you have to search through the entire list, it takes a lot of time because it compares with each element. So we move to the binary search. In binary search there is a concept of splitting, divide and conquer. They just divide the whole list and then find the element. And the first thing is it is based on divide and conquer, and second thing is there is a restriction that the data should be arranged in ascending order or descending order. But in the linear search, data may or may not be arranged. In binary search, first of all you have to just enter the values of the element in the list, then you have to calculate the length of the list, and then you have to enter the value of the element you want to search. After that you call the binary function. Binary function needs 3 parameters. First of all length, first of all the list, second size of the list, and the third parameter is element you want to search. This is the user defined function, and user defined function calling this function, user defined function can be made with the help of def, then function name and the parameters. This is the colon. Colon shows the block of this function. Here you have to calculate the LB. LB means you have to take two variables, LB and UB. You can take another name, LU, any variable name its own U, but these variables signifies the first variable takes the index 0 and second variable takes the last index of the list. Suppose there is a size of the list is size of the list stored in variable size, and size is replaced by n by formal parameter. So size of the list is n. So the last index should be n minus 1 because the list starts from 0. And then you have to initiate the loop. We will discuss after that what is the significance of this statement, but you have to make it sure that you have taken two variables, which first variable stores the lower value of lower index, and the second variable takes the last index of the list. Then you have to calculate the midpoint of the list by LB plus UB gives by 2. You calculate the midpoint of the list, middle index of the list. If the middle index come like that 0 plus 5 divided by 2, 2.5. 2.5 is not any index. For that you have taken int. It means when you divide the LB plus UB, it converts the value into the form of integer. In the binary search, you just make the comparisons, but you do not have to make comparison with the each element present in the list, but you have to make comparison with the middle element of the list. Middle element of the list. For that, before understanding the next Before moving to the next coding of the entire program, we we just have to see the following example or output of the program. For example, this is the list, and this index is 0, and this index is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 0 is the LB and 7 is the UB, and you have to calculate the middle value. 0 plus 7 gives by 2 gives the middle value 3.5. 3.5 means integer value, that is 4. That is 4 means which value comes here? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you have to search 61. You have to search 61, that you have to search 61, and the middle value is 51. And you very well know that the entire list is arranged in ascending order. For that, there is no usage to compare with this list. The only use of this list is like this. So this list is disregarded. You can do not consider this list. The entire list is divided into two parts, because we do not need this list, just we have to neglect that, and now the list becomes like this. And you just फिर अब जब आपका लिस्ट है वो ये ख़त्म हो गया, अब आपका सिर्फ इतना लिस्ट रह गया. जब ये लिस्ट इतना रह जाएगा तो ये जो चीज़ है 60, ये जो पोजीशन है आपकी, ये क्या बन गई? आपकी LB बन गई, और ये क्या बन गई? आपकी UB बन गई है. जब ये आपकी LB बन गई और ये आपकी क्या बन गई? UB बन गई है. तो LB अब आपका यहाँ पे 0 ना होकर ये क्या है? आपका मिडल है. तो अब आपका क्या बन गया? LB क्या बन गया? मिडल प्लस 1. लेकिन UB आपका वही का वही रहा. ठीक है ना. अब यहाँ पे हम देखते हैं इन द कोड. In the code we have seen here, we want to search the element 61, but the middle value is 51. 61 is less than 51. No, it is not true. Then we go to the else part. 61 is greater than 51. Yes, it is true. Then the lower bound shifts from 0 to middle plus 1. But if it is true, then upper bound shifts from middle to middle minus 1. Upper bound shifts from n minus 1 to middle minus 1. But if it is not less than, if it is not greater, then it means it is equal to middle value. Then we return the middle value. And if the element is not found, then we return minus 1. And in the code we just seen here what is the significance of this line? LB less than equal to UB. We will see like this. Suppose this is a list, this is the mid value 51, and the element you want to search here is 61. So you discard this list, and the list now becomes this: 61, 74 and 85. Then this position is what? This position is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lower bound shifts to 5th position, and upper bound is shift to 7th position. 5 plus 7 gives 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Then the middle value is 74. Is 74 is equal to 61? No, 61 is not equal to 74. So we discard this list. So the list is now this 61 only. This is the upper bound, and this is equal to the lower bound. That's why we have written in the code this line. We have to make comparison till LB is less than equal to. LB is always less than UB. We have seen here. But when it becomes equal, this is the last comparison which we can make in the binary search. From this output, we have seen we do not have to make comparison with each list, with each element. We just have make comparison. We just have broken the list, and we just have to make a very few comparisons. Suppose in a linear search, if there is n elements, then the maximum comparisons can be O(n). But in the binary search, if there are n elements, then the maximum comparison can be O log n. It takes a very less time in comparison to linear search. So binary search is better than linear search. Difference here is linear search and binary search. Here it access the elements, it can make comparison sequentially, but it make comparison randomly. Data may or may not be sorted. Data is sorted in ascending or descending order, maybe descending or maybe ascending. It takes lot of time, it takes very less time. It is easy, it is tricky. It does not based on divide and conquer, it is based on divide and conquer. It is efficient for small array, but it is efficient for large array. And the last point is its time complexity is O(n), but its time complexity is O log n. Okay, and if we seen that the relationship between the graph, linear search go like this. जैसे जैसे आपके नंबर ऑफ़ एलिमेंट्स बढ़ते जाएंगे वैसे वैसे आपका टाइम भी क्या होता जाएगा, रेस करता जाएगा. लेकिन बाइनरी सर्च में ऐसा नहीं होता. बाइनरी सर्च में जो ग्राफ जाएगा वो आपका ऐसे जाता है, ठीक है, ओ लॉग एन लाइक. दिस इज द ग्राफ ऑफ बाइनरी सर्च एंड दिस इज द ग्राफ ऑफ लीनियर सर्च. एंड after doing this searching process, we just move to the next algorithms, next program, that is sorting. Sorting means how can you arrange your elements in ascending or descending order. There are various kinds of sorting techniques like bubble sort, insertion sort, selection sort, merge sort, heap sort. But there are two sorting techniques in your syllabus, bubble sort and insertion sort. Bubble sort it is a very simple sorting algorithm. It is based on comparisons in which each element is compared to its adjacent elements, and the elements are swapped if they are not in proper order. Just you have to remember this line. Elements are swapped if they are not in proper order. Adjacent elements, make comparison with adjacent elements, first line. And second point, and the elements are swapped if they are not in proper order. And there are two types of sorting, internal sorting and external sorting. Both these examples, both these sorting techniques are the examples of internal sorting. Okay, just move to the next slide. Suppose this is the element list 4, 13, 1 and 7. Remember these points which I will told you, it will help you a lot. Suppose there are 4 elements in a list. There are 2 terms for any sorting. You just have to remember there is a word pass, and the second value is second thing is comparison. Okay, there are 4 elements in this list, so the number of passes is 4 minus 3. Maximum passes is 4 minus 1, that is 3. आप देख भी सकते हैं कि इस एग्जाम्पल में सिर्फ 3 ही पास चल रहे हैं. मैक्सिमम पास 3 चलेंगे. आप 3 से पहले भी आप ये काम कर सकते हैं, ठीक है. डिपेंड कि आपकी लिस्ट कितनी सॉर्टेड थी और कितनी अनसॉर्टेड थी, ठीक है. आपको क्या करना है, यहाँ पे आपको कंपैरिजन करना है. कैसे कंपैरिजन करोगे, 4 और 13 का करोगे. If 4 and 13 are in proper order, if it is in ascending order, then there is no need of swap, but if these are not in proper order, then there is a need of swap. So there is no need of swap, we have just make one comparison. Then after that this list occur, this one you have to make comparison between 1 and 13. Is it in okay order, proper format? No. So we just swap it. 1 comes in second position and 13 comes in third position. Then we make comparison with 13 and 7. Then this 13 and 7, so they are also swapped, 7 and 13. As a result of the first pass, the last element gets sorted. Okay, then we move to the second pass. Then again the comparison starts between 4 and 1. No, it is not in proper order, so get swapped. Then make comparison between 4 and 7. It is in proper order. Then 7 and 13. Okay, then you have seen here 7 is also got sorted, also got the exact position in the second pass. Then we move to the third pass. 1, 4, 7, 13. No need of swapping. no need of swapping and no need of swapping because they are already sorted. Okay, for the before moving to the program, just know one thing. First of all, you have to give the list, then you make the check the size of the list, and then you have to take two loops. First loop is for pass and second loop is for comparisons. These are comparisons. ठीक है, first loop is for pass and second loop is for comparison. Okay, and then you have to make comparison like this. Okay, first of all, suppose there are this list is given, it contains 4 values, then the length of the list is 4, then we have just move to the pass. कौन कौन से पास चलेंगे? n-1 is 3, n-1 is 3, तो लूप्स कहाँ कहाँ चलेगा? 0, 1, 2. तो it means there are 3 passes, 0, 1 and 2. Then you have to make comparison. Okay, in comparison, in which sense? You have to just it should be P. Okay, suppose 0, n is what? 4. 4 minus 0 is 4. 4 minus 0 is 4. तो लूप्स कहाँ कहाँ चलेगा? किसको कंपेयर करेगा? इस एलिमेंट को कंपेयर करेगा, इसको करेगा और इसको करेगा, फोर्थ वन को करेगा. कंपैरिजन हो जाएगा. इफ 4 is greater than 30, then there is a need of swapping. If it is not so, then there is no need of swapping. Like in this case, 13 and 1. 13 is greater than 1, so need of swapping, and as a result 1, 13 as a result of this line. Okay, and after one completion of one pass, it occurs like so. So the next pass moves, because this is a nested loop. ये लूप तब तक नहीं चलेगा, आउटर लूप, जब तक हमारा इनर लूप क्या नहीं हो जाएगा? फिनिश नहीं हो जाएगा. And as a result, if this is the list before sorting and this is the list after sorting, remember there is a time complexity which you must be written when you give the exam. Just learn this. It runs maximum n times. It also runs maximum n times when there is a nested loops. जितने भी लूप्स होंगे उतनी ही क्या बन जाएगी? आपकी कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी बन जाएगी. कितने लूप्स हैं? 2 लूप्स हैं, तो O(n) square. दिस इज द टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी. ओके, देन वी मूव टू द next sorting technique, that is insertion sort. Insertion sort means that you have to sort the elements by shifting them one by one. And insert it into the correct position. Okay, like so. This is the list. You make comparison 2 with 5. It is not in proper sequence, so 2 comes here, 5 comes here. Okay, in the right position. Okay, you make comparison 4 with 5, then 5 comes here and then 4 comes here. 4 also makes comparison with 2, but it does not show. ठीक है, अब क्या होगा? 6 किससे कंपेयर करेगा अपने आप को? 5 से करेगा. ओके, अब 1 किससे करेगा कंपेयर अपने आप को? पहले तो 6 से करेगा. नहीं, सही भाई, 6 यहाँ जाएगा और ये प्लेस क्या हो जाएगा? खाली हो जाएगा. अब 1 अपने आप किससे कंपेयर करेगा? 5 से करेगा. ये ना सबको जो चीज़ चल रही है ना, इंटरनली चलती है. क्या चलती है? ये इंटरनली चलती है. मतलब ये नहीं है कि आपको जैसे 1 है, सपोज करिए आप 1 पहले अपने को 6 से कंपेयर करता है, डायरेक्टली यहाँ नहीं आ सकता है 1. ठीक है, 1 पहले अपने को किससे कंपेयर करता है? 6 से करता है. 6 यहाँ जाता है, क्योंकि ये फिक्स है कि 6 की पोजीशन तो ये है. 1 की ये पोजीशन हो भी सकती है और नहीं भी. 1 फिर अपने को किससे कंपेयर करता है? 5 से. ठीक है भाई, 5 यहाँ जाएगा, तो ये पोजीशन क्या होगी? खाली. तो 1 अपने आप कंपेयर किससे करता है? 4 से. ओके, 4 अब कहाँ जाएगा? यहाँ जाएगा, तो ये पोजीशन क्या होगी? खाली. अब 1 किससे कंपेयर करेगा अपने आप को? 2 से कंपेयर करेगा, तो 2 से कंपेयर करेगा तो 2 यहाँ आ जाएगा और ये पोजीशन क्या हो जाएगी? खाली. अब 1 को आगे कंपेयर करने की किसी से ज़रूरत है नहीं, इसलिए 1 हमेशा ही कहाँ रहेगा? यहाँ पर रहेगा. इट डजंट मीन कि ये डायरेक्टली यहाँ जाता है, नहीं. ये 1 बाय 1 अपने आप को क्या करता है? चेक करता है. देखो लिखा हुआ है यहाँ पे, शिफ्टिंग देम 1 बाय 1 एंड इंसर्टिंग द एलिमेंट एट राइट पोजीशन। हर एक को एक एक करके शिफ्ट करता है, हर एक को अपनी अपनी सही जगह पे करता है, प्लेस करता है। ऐसे सेम 3 का, 3 पहले किसे चेक करेगा 6 से, 6 अपनी पोजीशन पे आएगा, लेकिन 3 अपनी पोजीशन नहीं लेगा। 3 अपने आप को एक टेम्परेरी नाम के वेरिएबल में हमेशा करके रखेगा, स्टोर करके रखेगा। फिर 3 अपने आप को किसे चेक करेगा 5 से, 5 अपनी पोजीशन पे आएगा। फिर 3 अपने आप को किसे चेक करेगा 4 से, 4 अपनी सही पोजीशन पे आएगा। फिर ये स्पेस क्या हो जाएगा, खाली हो जाएगा। ये स्पेस क्या हो जाएगा आपका 4 वाला, खाली हो जाएगा। अभी भी 3 अपनी पोजीशन नहीं लेगा। 3 अपनी पोजीशन कब लेगा, जब वो अपने आप को किससे कंपेयर करेगा, 2 से कंपेयर करेगा। जब 2 से कंपेयर करेगा तो उसको पता लगेगा कि नहीं 2 इज़ इन हर करेक्ट पोजीशन, 2 अपनी बिल्कुल ही करेक्ट पोजीशन पे बैठा है। तो अब 3 अपने आप को यहाँ पर क्या कर लेगा, प्लेस कर लेगा। ओके, जैसे हमने क्या ली, लिस्ट ली, उसके बाद हमने लेंथ ऑफ द लिस्ट क्या करी, कैलकुलेट करी। फिर हमने क्या करा, लूप चलाया। उसके बाद हमने एक एलिमेंट को जिसको कंपेयर करना है, दीज सर्कल एलिमेंट्स जिनको हमें कंपेयर करना है, उसको हम कहाँ डालेंगे, टेम्परेरी वेरिएबल में डालेंगे। देखो यहाँ पे आप ध्यान से देखना कि आप यहाँ पे 1 डालते हो, नॉट 0। देखो बबल सॉर्ट में आपने 0 डाला था, लेकिन आप यहाँ 1 डाल रहे हो। क्योंकि आप इस 5 को अपनी करेक्ट पोजीशन पे मान के चल रहे हो, क्योंकि आपको कंपैरिजन करने के लिए कोई ना कोई एलिमेंट तो चाहिए ना। तो इसलिए आप 5 को एज्यूम कर रहे हो कि वो बिल्कुल अपनी करेक्ट पोजीशन पे है। और फिर इस एलिमेंट को, जिसकी पोजीशन किससे स्टोर कर रहे हैं, हम j से स्टोर कर रहे हैं, उसको j-1 से क्या करते जाते हैं, हम कंपेयर करते जाते हैं। जैसे सपोज करते हैं भाई 4 है, देन इट इज़ बिकम j। तो अब ये j किससे कंपेयर होगा, प्रीवियस 1 से कंपेयर होगा। प्रीवियस मतलब j-1 से क्या होगा, कंपेयर होगा। और तब तक कंपेरिजन होगा जब तक हमारा कौन सा इंडेक्स ना आ जाए, 0 इंडेक्स ना आ जाए। या फिर कह सकते हो कि जो प्रीवियस दोनों कंडीशंस हमारी क्या होनी चाहिए, ट्रू होनी चाहिए। जैसे ये एग्जांपल लेते हैं, 4 लगाते हैं, 4 लगाते हैं। 4 में अब प्रीवियस पोजीशन क्या है, 1 है, 1 ग्रेटर देन इक्वल टू 0 है, ये स्टेटमेंट ट्रू है। ठीक है, अब इसके बाद प्रीवियस में क्या पड़ा, 5 पड़ा, 5 ग्रेटर देन 4 है, येस इट इज़ ट्रू। तो हम क्या करेंगे, 5 को कहाँ शिफ्ट करेंगे, 5 को कहाँ शिफ्ट करेंगे, आगे शिफ्ट कर देंगे, प्रीवियस +1 पे शिफ्ट कर देंगे। फिर ठीक है, हमने 5 तो शिफ्ट कर दिया, लेकिन 4 कहाँ आएगा, 4 कहाँ आएगा हमारा, पीछे आएगा। 4 कहाँ आएगा हमारा, यहाँ पे पीछे 4 की कोई पोजीशन ही नहीं आएगी। तो इसलिए हमें 4 को कहाँ से चेक करना है, और पीछे से चेक करना है। तो इसलिए हम यहाँ पे क्या लिखते हैं, प्रीवियस -1 लिखते हैं। फिर कंपैरिजन करते हैं इस लाइन से, तो ये स्टेटमेंट क्या हो जाती है, फॉल्स हो जाती है। जब ये स्टेटमेंट क्या हो जाएगी, फॉल्स हो जाएगी, तो हम लूप से कहाँ जाते हैं, बाहर आ जाते हैं। तो लूप से जब बाहर आएंगे तो 4 कहाँ शिफ्ट हो जाएगा, प्रीवियस +1, दैट मीन्स दिस पोजीशन। ओके, एंड द फाइनल वी गेट द सॉर्टेड लिस्ट। ओके, this is the output of the selection. So one dimensional array now completed. Now we move to the multi-dimensional array. Multi-dimensional array is also known as nested list. It means list within list. Okay, just take the examples. Suppose there is a list, this one. This starts from 10 and up to 80. If these brackets are not present, it means it is a simple list, it is a one dimensional list. But there is a complete list, and in this list there is another list that is 30 40, and the next list is 50 60 70. It means there are 2 lists within one list. So what is the size of the list? We can calculate the size of the list with the help of len function by passing the parameter, that is the name of the list, name of the variable of the list, that is nl, and we just check the length of the list. What is the length of the list? 1 2 3. This is 3, complete 3. This is complete 3, and this is complete 4, and this is 5. Okay, this is the length of the list. But if this bracket is not present, then it must be 1 2 3 4. Okay, but if this bracket is present, then it considered as one element. Okay, then we just check the next list, that is second list, and check the length of the list, that is 1 2 3. This is complete 4, starting from 4 to 9, 4 5 and 6. Okay, this is complete list. The answer is 6. Understood? Next question is, suppose this is a list, this one, and we have to check the L1. L1 means this index is 0, this index is 1. Index starts from 0, but length of the list starts from 1. So L1 is 2. What is L3? L3 is means 0, 1, 2, 3. This is complete 3. This one. Okay. If it is asked like this, L31, this is complete 3. So it is 0 and it is 1. That is 5. Next, 3, 2, 0. This is 3. This is 0, 1, 2. And this is 2. This position is known as 2. And this is 0, 1 and 2. It is asked 3, 2, 0. 3, 2, 0 means this is complete 3. This is second position, that is 6, 7, 8. This list is position number 2. And this position within 2, this is 0. So it is 6. 3, 2. 3, 2 means what? 3, 2 means like this, 0, 1, 2, 3. This is 3, complete 3, and in this is complete 3. Which 4? This is complete 3. Okay, and this position is 0, this position is 1, and this position is 2. So answer is 6, 7, 8. Now 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1 means 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, then 2. 2 means this 6, 7, 8. 1 means what? 7. Okay, the answer is 7. Next, 3, 3. 3, 3 means 0, 1, 2, 3. This is complete 3. Complete 3. And this is 0, 1, 2, 3. So this is 3, 3. The answer is 9. Next example is this. This is a list and compare 0, 0. 0 is this complete 0, but 0, 0 मतलब 0 within 0. तो ये this is the entire list. This is also a list. Python is also a list because this position is 0, this position is 1, this is 2, 3, 4, 5. 0, 0 means P. 3, 0, 2. So see, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and this is complete 3. This is complete 3, and this is 0. 0 within 2. 0, 1, 2. Answer is D. Next question, 3:4. 3:4 means only third element. Third element means 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and 30 means complete list. Complete means modern programming. 301. 301 matlab this is 3, this is 0, and this is 1. Okay, 301. And next is 3, 4. That is 3:4 means this is asking for 3. 0 means modern. 1, 3. 1, 3 matlab this is 0, 1. 0, 1 matlab 0 and 1. And 3 matlab 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. Again 3 complete list. This complete list. Okay, 3. This 3:4 matlab only 3. 0 this one, 1 matlab this one, and 1, 3 means 0, 1, 2, 3. Answer becomes G. This is the end of the chapter, that is data structure part 1. In the next videos we will learn about data structure part 2, that is stack and queue. Thank you.